978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Yes, we are back. Are we on? Okay, just wanted to be sure. My producer was giving me a little bit of a head shake. I wasn't sure. Okay, I am Bill Macek. This is the new open mic. It is 6:08 right now on your Monday evening. And with me is my co-host. He's back, Bill Ellis.
Been a few weeks.
Yeah, let's see. Wait, we got to get your mic turned up here.
Hello.
Nobody tested anything. Nobody, we got to do everything ourselves here, Bill.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, hold on. Wait a minute. Maybe we need to bring the boss in here. Where's the boss? Are you on? Testing 1, 2.
Testing 1, 2.
This is live radio. Well, you know, we're not going to get your mic on tonight, Bill. So
Are you trying to tell me
it's
something?
personal. That's right. It's a personal affront. You know, I think we can have our crack producer come in and maybe help us with the equipment that is not set up to work for some reason this evening. Okay.
Is that me? That's me.
There we are. Yeah.
Wow.
There it is.
You know what? He's like God. And the Lord said, let there be light, and there was light.
I know.
There
huh?
he is. In this case, sound.
Wow. You know, he just came in.
So, Billy, how you been? It's been a few weeks. I've missed you.
I'm still a rookie around here.
That's all right.
I'll get it. We'll figure it out. I've been good. How have you been?
I'm excellent.
You went to Florida.
I was down in Deerfield Beach, Florida. Had a great time. The weather down there was fantastic.
Yeah, I bet it's tough for people that are coming back now. We've got the number 4 nor'easter coming maybe Wednesday, Thursday.
Is that a definite, though? Because
Yeah,
I'm hearing
I don't
certain
know about
things.
here north of Boston, but I think south of Boston, I think it's going to at least touch them and come over the.
I heard something about
over
that.
the Cape.
But you know what's interesting, though, is earlier in the week, they were talking about, or early in the week, it means Monday, towards the end of last week, I should say, there's 2 weather models. One was the U.S. and one was Europe.
Right.
And the U.S. one said 12 inches for Worcester, and the U.S. And the other one said it was going out to sea.
Yeah.
So it's interesting on how they feed that information to the computer, or 2 computers, and one was calling for a lot of snow, and one was calling for nothing at all.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes they've got all kinds of colored lines. Could go this way, this way, this way. Could go out the
Spaghetti.
Yeah. Then the weather is one of those jobs you can be wrong quite often. Or, even though they do a 10-day forecast, some of the stations, 7 days, they should do like 7 or 10 hours.
Yeah, they find it hard.
Because that's about all they can figure out.
Well, this was that old saying about New England, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Mark Twain once said, everybody complains about the weather, but nobody does anything about it.
Can't. I mean, Mother Nature's in charge, and that's it.
Here's a trivia question for you. Where'd the name Mark Twain come from?
Mark Twain, it was that guy, he was a writer in...
No, but he got the name for... His name was actual Samuel Longhorn Clemens.
That's right.
But where'd the name Mark Twain come from?
I don't know. It's like where'd the name Bill Maxwell come from?
Well, you got that from the coffee commercial.
You think so?
Yes.
I think I was influenced when I used that.
Because it was actually funny, because the Bill Maxwell name came, he was an alcoholic. And they used to say he was good till the last drop.
Right.
So then when he finally dropped at the end of the night, he was no good anymore.
So now that you've said all those things, you remember the show on TV, The Greatest American Hero?
You're going to tell me you were on
Do you know what his name was?
No.
Bill Maxwell.
Was it really? Is that where the name came from?
Yeah. No. No, I actually probably was the coffee.
Might have been. And we mentioned this before.
Yeah.
Good to the last drop.
Yeah.
And that was Teddy Roosevelt actually said that, and they took that.
Yeah,
with that.
Interesting.
But anyways, Mark Twain
How
was
about Rick Adams? Where'd that come from?
Well, that's the singer.
No, that's Rick Astley.
Never Gonna Give You Up. The song he sang.
Rick Astley.
Wasn't there a Rick Adams that sang?
No.
All right. So where did Rick Adams come from?
I just made it up. I
So
used
So
that
you're talking off the cuff
as
now.
another.
On nonsense.
I used that at another radio station. When I
What
was
is your-
working at
Yeah,
one is
y-
Bill Maxwell, they said you can't work at the next. You can't use the name Bill Maxwell if you want to work here and do middays. I said, okay, I'll use a different name.
You know, there's name for people that use aliases all the time.
That's not. It's a professional moniker. It's a professional name. There's nothing illegal about that.
Who else had John Wayne? What was his real name?
Oh, it was a lot of
I know
people
that.
in the
I know that.
entertainment business.
I think his first name was Marion.
Marion. That's
That's
right.
right.
Right. It was. Yeah.
God bless him. But anyways, the Mark Twain name came from when Samuel Longhorn Clemens worked on the Mississippi River, and they used to stick poles into the river to determine how deep it was, and I think that was so many fathoms, and they would yell out Mark Twain, so the pilot of the riverboat would know how deep it was coming up.
Okay.
So it didn't run aground. Now that you know that, I got to
great.
tell you about something unusual happened today, and it's the first time it's ever happened. A self-driving Uber car ran over somebody in Arizona and killed them.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Nope. Imagine that. Who do they charge?
I don't know. This is new law. New law.
Well, I'm
Areas
telling you,
that will have
that's
be
got to
written.
be taking that program back
Right.
at least 10,
I would
20
think
years.
it will be the company that probably owned the car, but I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Would you
Go in a driverless car?
go in the driverless car?
If it was if I had to choose between you or the driverless car, Billy, you would be the driverless car.
No, I'm a good driver.
Yeah, but you
I have a
may be a
clean
good driver,
record.
Billy, but the conversation between driver and passenger just wouldn't be there. I would probably have a better time speaking to nothing. No offense.
Yeah. All right. You said enough. You've said
Hey,
enough.
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to give you some initials.
I remember my uncle as a little kid, and it was just a funny thing. He had it on his visor, and he had bought it. It was like a patch almost, and it said, "Do not speak to the driver when the vehicle is in motion."
That's a good thing because you don't want to be distracted.
Right. Right.
But another car I was in
I
too.
think he
It
was
said,
just trying to keep
Jesus
us
is my
kids-
co-pilot. So how
Yeah.
could you go wrong?
Well, how come? Well, I guess because the dashes probably aren't magnetic anymore. But remember the old magnetic Jesus and
Yeah.
a lot of different religious things you could buy and stick them on your dash.
You could do that too. You remember the little handle that used to be on the?
Oh, you had to have you had to get permitted for that though. After a while, because of what they called them. What was the nickname?
It was a
for 'em?
suicide knob.
Suicide knob.
That's right.
They were dangerous. They would sometimes get caught. Like say you had a winter coat on or something, or next
You ever
thing
see
know,
the
it's
scene
caught
out
up
of?
your
You ever see the
sleeve,
scene out of
and
Planes,
you-
Trains, and
you
Automobiles?
can't get it out.
You ever see the scene
I did see that movie.
when John Candy tried to take his Parker off, and he reaches back and it gets caught on one knob in the back of the seat, and then
Yeah.
he reaches the other one. The other one gets
Yeah.
caught.
It was good.
That was
Yeah.
one of the greatest
Yeah.
movies of all time. So,
And we got to take a break at 6:15.
oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No,
if
right-
I
right
talk
around
too
this
much,
time.
just
Look,
let me know.
look, the producer's in charge, but I'm kind of piloting the ship here. Mark Twain. So
Captain Smith.
Mark Twain.
From the Titanic.
All right. This is the new open mic. By the way, I will mention we have a guest coming up in the second hour. I'll do that right after the break. Right here on the new open mic on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic!
Bill Macek and the new open mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, consider becoming a WHAV member right now. Just click on the membership tab at WHAV.net.
97.9 FM WHAV.
Open mic!
Hi, it's Bill Macek from the new Open Mic Show, reminding you to join me every Monday night from 6 to 8 with special guests, the top stories, sports, entertainment, and open lines for you to call in to. The new Open Mic on 97.9 WHAV FM.
Community Spotlight!
Residents in Haverhill's Mount Washington section invite their neighbors to a community health fair on Saturday, March 24th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Silver Hill Horace Mann Charter School on Washington Street. The Mount Washington Alliance will sponsor free medical, dental, and vision screenings and provide information on mental health, substance abuse, and nutrition with healthy snacks and giveaways. For more information, call Kristen at 978-241-3437. Someone you know is on WHAV. To submit or read your own nonprofit announcements, click on the Contact tab at whav.net or email news@whav.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, this is Robin Fancher.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Yes, we are back. Bill and Bill on the new Open Mic Show. Bill Macek and Bill Ellis. We're going to do the first hour, just looking for your phone calls at 978-374-1900 for any topic. It's free form for the 6 o'clock hour. Call in if you have any questions, concerns, comments about anything we're talking about or even something else. And in the 7 o'clock hour, somebody by the name of E. Philip Brown, and that's his real name, and he is writing a book. It's to help veterans, raise money for veterans. He's from Haverhill. A lot of people know him. And Phil's going to be on with us in the second hour, and a lot of good information that we have about him and about what he's doing for a really worthy and great cause. So,
why don't you change your name? I mean, you got several names as it is now, but I like him. He has a letter that starts it off.
Right,
E.
right.
You know what? You'd be good Billy Bo Macek. Or Bo Billy Macek.
I get a lot of Billy Macek still. A lot of people that have known me since I was younger.
But Bo, something before the Billy.
Billy Bo. That sounds.
No, Bo Billy.
I'm not sure that's northern.
Billy,
though. That's
Billy,
kind
Bo
of like,
Billy.
is that
Remember
more
that
of a
song?
southern name? And I'm not trying to be racist here, but
You don't
know,
like a southern name.
I don't know if Bo works.
Bo, you look good for a Bo.
Yeah.
Because it's B-O. Billy.
Oh, because I have B.O.? Oh,
that
thank you.
just came to me.
My
but
friend.
No,
my
Bo
friend.
is a great name, though.
All right.
Bo Diddley.
Why don't you use
Well, maybe I'll do something
Billy
in front
Bo
of my
Ellis?
name. Billy Bo or Bo Billy? But see, if we're both Bo Billy, then people would get us confused.
Well, they get us
so
confused
I have to have
now.
something else.
If they're not watching.
See, I could use...
By the way, I want to thank the local cable companies that are carrying our program video. Also, you can see us on Facebook and on whav.net if you want to view us that way, or you can listen at 97.9 FM. We're just everywhere, you know. It's hard to escape not having to see us.
I thought it was interesting
or hear
when
us.
Tim had mentioned that somebody in Colorado was listening to us.
He mentioned that. Was he talking to you? He wasn't talking to me.
He was talking to me because it was when I did the show.
Oh, okay.
There was universal listenership. And then when I came back with you just here, we have a hard time getting out of Haverhill to get anybody to listen to.
Jeez.
Hey,
You're
talking
tough.
about first time things happening, we just mentioned the Uber driver or Uber driverless car.
driverless car.
I'm going to UMBC. Do you know what that is?
UMBC.
Do you follow the March Madness?
The team that was, 35th and beat the first
The 16th seed.
The 16th.
University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Right.
I've never heard that name
I
before
never have either.
until it beat Virginia.
Right.
And talk about a major upset.
Yeah, it happens. It happens in sports. Did you ever hear of Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, the city?
Yeah.
What happened there during the Revolutionary
War? They have a football team that beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you know what? It's interesting is, and by the way, Malcolm Butler's going to play for the Titans.
The Titans, I know.
Is it ever come out on the reason why Malcolm Butler didn't play? I've heard a whole lot of stories.
Well,
apparently he was late to meeting.
Did you hear what he said? He was actually not feeling well the week leading up to the Super Bowl. I guess he might have missed a practice or two.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not sure, and he's being at least a gentleman that he's not leaving and throwing daggers at Bill Belichick or the New England Patriots. I think he's
Well, I guess-
appreciative of what they did do when they were together. But and he gave some thanks to Mr. Kraft and the Patriots in general. But I'm happy that Malcolm, not that he's gone, but I'm happy that he's going to finally get his payday, and he's going to have a fresh start with the Titans. So I think
I wish him well.
there's some
I mean,
shuffling going on, but I think some of the people the Patriots have picked up kind of replace. Some of the people that have.
Is a
I mean,
genius.
he is.
He knows his stuff inside and out.
And it's still early. We haven't had the draft yet, and so there's still a chance. But Tom Brady. What about Tom Brady?
He's up there
Do
in
you think
years.
he's ready to leave? You think
You know what though? Here's the thing.
That special.
If they win the Super Bowl, they would probably say he's good for another 10 years. They lose the Super Bowl, and basically they lost it on that drive at the end of the game, and he lost the ball. So now everybody's saying he's ready for retirement.
But he said something, and his wife also was quoted in that series they were doing on him for a year.
About a concussion.
No, she said that too. But the NFL medical records have no reflection of any of that. So maybe, who knows?
Can you think of a guy that's got a better life than him?
Well,
He's making umpteen millions of dollars. He marries a beautiful woman that makes more money than him. I mean, that's like an Irishman's dream, marrying the daughter of a guy that owns a liquor store.
What do you have to say Irishman for? Are you a racist?
Is that being racist?
I don't want to talk. I don't like talking about.
You said
race.
you don't like to talk about color.
But that's race too.
All right. My mother's
I
calling
think
on
we
the
gotta
phone. Can
not
we listen?
talk about color or race. I think that's the problem. There's too much of it.
All right. So let me ask you a question. So should they make St. Patrick's Day nationality neutral?
Well, you're not calling him that Irish man, St. Patrick.
Yeah, but of course we all know that he is.
Well, look, you can also we have ethnicity in our names.
Of course, we can't help that.
Right.
That's unless we want to change our name.
I'm Rick Adams. I'm.
You know what you should do if you want to be a
I'm
purist?
Rick Adams, am I
from now on, your
British?
name is going to be Vanilla.
Vanilla?
Vanilla. Not the color, just plain, simple, nothing.
All right.
That would be the new name for you, Mr. Vanilla.
Well,
Actually, I can't use Vanilla because that means it's a gender connotation.
Vanilla?
Vanilla? No, if I say Mr. Vanilla.
Yeah.
The whole world's gone crazy.
It is. Right.
It is nuts.
We've thought it through too hard, too
Happy
far.
St. Patrick's Day, by the
All
way,
right, we
Billy.
have a phone call. Let's get to our first call at 978-374-1900. That is the number to call if you would like to join this great conversation. Hello.
Somebody's got a call.
Are you
yeah.
Irish, by the way?
I'm half Irish.
What's the other half is French, right?
Yeah.
See, I remember that.
Yeah.
See, that's a pretty good memory.
How do you know that?
How did I know that? I'm actually, I have psychic abilities.
Uh-huh.
And if you keep thinking about what you've been thinking about, you could go to jail.
Uh-oh.
So I know these things. So how are you doing this
Psychic
evening?
abilities, we need to get a good psychic on the open mic.
I would like to. I've told a few people that I'm looking for a psychic to bring on the air because they're a lot of fun. I was doing a show years and years ago at the old WHAV for about 6 months until the Red Sox came back on and I got knocked off. But I'll tell you, the nights I had the psychic on, the phone lines were lit up, and they never, when somebody hung up, somebody else jumped in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people love talking to, and all she needed was your birth date, and I think your birth date is pretty much it, and she would go from there.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'm looking.
Better on the phone anyway, because that's live, and it's better than if you do that online. They just try to sell you a bunch of stuff after.
Remember who used to do that all the time? Remember who used to do the psychic hotline? Was the singer. Do you know the way to San Jose?
Oh, Dionne Warwick.
Dionne Warwick. And
that's
there
right.
was a she was in a very dry spot in her life when she started doing that. She hadn't had a hit in 20 years. So there was a comedian that said she should ask the psychic when's the next time she's going to have a hit. Poor Dionne Warwick. Hey, but do you want to play a little psychic question game with me right now, caller? Takes
All
about
right.
2 minutes. Are you any good at math?
Average.
Okay, we're going to play this game, and actually every listener out there can partake. I'm going to ask you to pick a number between 1 and 9, but don't give me the answer. So you have an answer. Think of a number between 1 and 9. Do you have it in your head?
Yeah.
Multiply the number times 9, all right, and keep it to yourself. So you have a 2-digit number in your head.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, add the two numbers up. So if you're thinking 34 is the number, you add 3 plus 4.
Uh-huh.
All right, so you have a single digit now in your head. Subtract 5 from that number.
Okay.
All right, relate that letter to a number to a letter in the alphabet, like 1 is A, 2 is B, 3 is C.
Okay.
All right, the letter that you're thinking about, think of the name of a country.
Okay.
All right, the second letter in the name of the country, think of the name of a large animal.
Okay.
All right, it's Denmark elephant.
Yes.
See, I told you, Bill, I
Yeah.
have psychic ability.
You do? Yeah.
And I've heard that someplace before.
Well, I tell you, a lot of times, if you do it in the Boston area, you get tripped up because half the people say Dominican Republic.
Oh.
So, because there's not that many D countries, so you get tripped up with that.
But you could get the elephant, right? Because
No,
the
'cause-
second letter is
oh.
still E.
No, it's not.
Oh,
For
it's
Dominican,
not.
it's O. It's
Dominican?
No, Dominican. It's not
It's not
Dominican.
Dominican?
Wow.
I don't-
We've got a lot to talk about
I'm
after the
not
show,
good
William.
at spelling. That's why I'm in a
Get rid of
talking
that E,
profession.
Like
And
they
thank
did
God
to
for
Bill
spell
at a
check.
city council meeting before, and they had him down as Billy Mack.
Billy Mack?
Did they really?
Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
don't remember that?
No, I don't. No.
Oh.
That's
But
right. If you take the E off,
If you think, yeah, right.
God bless you.
What, about a year ago, I think.
Is, really? Okay. Well,
Well, it
it's
was in the minutes that way, so you had to have them corrected.
well. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Another alias name. So, caller, I'm sure you called up for a different reason, I would imagine.
Well, I wanted to get the ball rolling because last week we didn't have one on-air caller.
Is that right? Well, I guess because I wasn't there.
We had heavy guests last week. I think that must have been it.
Well, you had two sets anyway.
2 guests, and they were a full hour, and we didn't have a lot of open lines. But I appreciate you calling in tonight and getting the ball rolling, cracking the ice.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
It's called breaking the ice, Billy, not cracking the ice.
Well, gee,
And
I don't like to
want
break
to know-
things. I just maybe a crack you can repair it.
So, caller, are you married?
I'm a widower.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, the reason why I wanted to use that as a segue, this past week, the participant on the Democratic side for president said that the reason why she lost was because married women asked their husbands or their husbands dictated to them who they should vote for. Do you think that's true?
No.
Okay.
I don't either.
Why would she say something like that?
I think there was a time. I mean, maybe June Cleaver would have asked Ward.
Yeah. I don't know if she could vote back then. That was so long ago.
Did you ever notice how every time they sat down at the dinner table, they were always dressed up?
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite character on that show?
Oh, geez. On the Leave It to Beaver.
Eddie.
Eddie Haskell?
not Eddie.
Eddie Haskell?
You know what? It's funny. 'Cause Eddie Haskell was great. He ended up becoming a police officer in Los Angeles.
Did he?
After his
Yeah.
movie days.
Yeah.
But you know what? The way they named this character, it basically looks like the character. Remember Lumpy Rutherford?
Yes. Yeah.
He looked like a Lumpy.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Hey, we got to take a break.
Do you want to hold on?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. We'll get back to this call, and I think we got another call too. So you're helping us rake them in tonight, right here on the new open mic on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Bill Macek and the new open mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, consider becoming a WHAV member right now. Just click on the membership tab at whav.net.
It's 6:31.
97.9 WHAV is the only FM station assigned to the city of Haverhill. Your membership is critical to continued operation. It's easy to join. Just click on the membership tab at whav.net.
How does one man get himself into so many impossible situations? This is a question you'll probably ask yourself when you follow another hilarious adventure of Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. Yes, Gildy's eye for the ladies and his impulsive temperament managed to entangle him in a web of riotous circumstances. Join the romantic water commissioner, his neighbors, Judge Hooker, Mr. Peavy, and all the loyal Gildersleeve household as they romp through another episode of The Great Gildersleeve.
Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. on WHAV.
Wave weather.
Here's the wave weather forecast for Haverhill and the Merrimack Valley. For tonight, clear skies, low 17, light northwest winds. On Tuesday, sunny, high 41, low 21. And the outlook for Wednesday, cloudy skies with snow showers, high 36, low 29. I'm WHAV meteorologist Jim Vaughn. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
Catch the wave. WHAV. Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
All right, we are back on the new open mic. And we have to go back to our caller.
Hello, caller. You still there?
Caller.
Hello.
I am the caller.
All right.
You mentioned the driverless cars.
Yeah, what do you think?
I want one.
You want one?
I want one.
They kill people.
Well, one of them did.
Well,
but somebody in a transit bus plowed into a driverless car.
Yeah, but when you
less than a year ago, and that person who was in that got killed.
That's what I'm saying. They're in a lot of accidents from what for the small amount of vehicles on the road, they have a lot of problems.
Yeah, there's a lot to be worked out.
Yeah, I don't think they're really ready for prime time.
No, not yet.
No.
Too much congestion. I don't mind if an airplane, if the pilot takes off for a little while, because what are you going to run into up there? You got 101 things that tells you where you're going, and somebody else is keeping a track of what's out there.
But do you want them steered from the ground, planes? I think it's sometime somebody's going to be down in the tower with a joystick flying your plane.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Do you think that's going to happen?
No, eventually that will happen.
When the pilot's in the plane with me.
But Billy, think about it.
With me,
a drone is the same thing.
I don't fly on drones. Do you?
But it's eventually going to happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It'll be a lot cheaper.
You know what I would love to do? To know the first time that you fly in a drone, I would love to have the joystick.
Yeah.
And see how long you can hold on to your lunch. That happened a couple weeks ago. I guess there was a plane that went to Virginia in that nor'easter, and I guess everybody lost their lunch.
Well, actually, I'm very comfortable flying, in a commercial airplane.
You look like a first-class guy.
I fall asleep half the time before they take off.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually, I like it too. Now, are you an aisle guy or middle guy?
And I'm not taking any drugs or any
not now, at least.
Any sleeping stuff.
Now, where do you like to sit? You like to sit in the back, the front, which seat? You want if it's 3 seats across, you want the window?
I'm always in coach. I'm just a regular guy. I can't afford being up front with the
but you look first class,
drinking
though.
crowd. I don't drink, so it's like, why should I? I wouldn't even want. I don't need. I'm not a guy that needs to sit up front. That's all. And
you're just a regular guy.
I'm just a regular
nice
guy, right? And,
vanilla.
Yeah. Vinny Vanilla.
So what did you call about, caller? You want to talk about the Uberless rider?
Uberless?
Can we call it? No, actually, it's driverless Uber.
Well, Uber owned it, right?
Uber owned it, right?
Yeah, but that's.
What's something that?
I don't know. I would like the. I would like the ability to be able to say, take my phone and punch in a code, and have a driverless car show up in front of my house, and I can get in and tell the mechanism, take me.
Program in your address. Yeah, I'm sure that's the way it works. Like
everything is going that way now.
Well, on my cell phone, I can get directions to any place I want to go, but putting the address in.
You know what you should try? Type in hell, see where it takes you.
No, that's my mind doesn't work like that, Bill.
That's because you don't believe in heaven or hell, do you?
No, you got to just stop this. You know what? We have to go to another call. Is our other call still waiting? No, we lost the other call. Ask them to please call back because we feel bad that we just were rambling here.
Oh, the next caller went to the bathroom. He'll be back.
Oh, okay.
Did he? Well,
All
that's
right.
good. Hey, you know what I'd like to have on? Somebody bought a picture of Jesse James on eBay for $10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's an authentic, rare photo of Jesse James, and it could be valued at $2 million.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good pick, huh?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
bought it, thought maybe it was a copy or something.
Yeah.
He got it. It was like a tintype. You ever see the tintype pictures?
Yep.
And he had it sent to a couple of different places, and they said it's authentic, and it is Jesse James.
Wow.
Now, they just found a photo of Billy the Kid not that long ago. That's worth
that
thousands.
was me when I was young.
Really?
Yeah. That's
So you were Billy back then also?
I was Billy the Kid, right.
God bless you.
Yep.
I would have thought you would have had another name like Malcolm or something.
And I'm like Liz Warren. I have Indian blood. Native
look like
American.
you look
Because
like
my
you have
mother
that.
used to she says, well, my mother and my grandmother used to tell me, right? My mother honestly used to always say to me, "You're a little Indian." So I'm
You know what? You should
I'm gonna say
you should sue her now.
I probably
It's
no.
always the mother who says it.
My
you know.
mother says, "You're a little Indian." She said it to me more times than I can count. You know? So I'm convinced that I have Native American blood.
Well, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that because when I was a kid, I never thought I had a real father because my father used to call me a little with a B.
Oh. We're not going. This isn't a family show.
I know,
is
that's
what
why I didn't
try
use
to
the- I
run
didn't
here.
use the word, though, but that's
And
what
you
came out.
always have to steer it towards the edge.
Well, it's Howard Stern made $1 million that way and then some.
Yeah.
Hey, caller, do you see who's running against Mario Cuomo in New York for governor?
Nope.
Cynthia Nixon.
Huh?
You know who she is?
President Nixon's daughter.
No, she's in Sex and the City.
Oh, she's in Sex and the City.
Yeah, she's going to run for governor, and apparently she
Oh.
feels that, taking up a role of an actor like Ronald Reagan did. Do you know Ronald Reagan actually was a Democrat when he first started out?
Yes.
And he switched
He
over.
switched over when he got
Yeah.
money, huh?
Yeah,
So did Donald Trump. He was a Democrat, and he switched over to
Oh,
Republican.
that I didn't know.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They switched over.
A lot
and
of people aren't convinced that he really switched over in all of his thought process.
Well, if
but-
you look at the Republican Party back when it was first formed, they were more liberal in their thinking.
Let me. I'm 60.
More conservative over time.
right. Right.
It's changed.
It's changed.
I'm 60 years old, and I grew up in a Democratic household. If my father was alive today and saw the Democratic Party, there's no way he would recognize it.
Yep.
Right. They say that even John Kennedy wouldn't recognize the party.
No, in fact, John Kennedy talked about the
for what
same
he
tax
stood
cuts that Trump just put through.
Right, right. So things, I'll use President Obama's statement. Well, I evolved. Things evolve.
Yeah, things have evolved, but with him though, he did it for political reasons.
Well, I think he answered that when he was asked about abortion, I think. When he changed his
Gay
mind.
rights and
He
gay
changed his
marriage.
mind, yeah, and all that stuff.
So he changed whichever way the political winds were blowing.
He evolved.
That's the direction. Not with him evolving. It's funny though. Abraham Lincoln changed his mind or opinion or at one time, and they asked him why he was flip flopping, and his comment was, "I would like to think I'm smarter today than the day that I originally made the first comment."
Well, I think you should always be open to changing your mind if you receive new information that you weren't aware of.
But you should come out and say that. Say since that period of time, because once you make a comment, you pigeonhole. That's it. You're in there.
Right.
So you should be able to come out and say, more evidence has come out to make me believe that this is not the answer, but this answer is correct.
Right.
And I think people would admire you more for that, not just because the political winds are telling you to change. Because does he ever come out and say, I've changed my mind because of this? No, they never go that.
No,
way.
they usually don't. It's unfortunate, but I do. I'll state what's on my mind.
What have you changed your mind on the last year or so forth?
Well, my toughest decision was actually the local option for meals tax. The state increased it to 6 1/4 and gave the local option to go to 7 cents on a dollar. But the 3/4 cents stays local. It's not like the original sales tax or the original lottery that the money was supposed to come back to the communities. Remember that? But anyway, so I was really struggling because I'm not a tax and spend guy at all. I don't like taxes. I want to keep taxes down. And I know it's only 3/4 cent, but it adds up. And back then it was projected based upon our regular meals tax. The state did the math, and we were going to get about $600,000 a year as a community. And it's still a tax, and I just didn't want to go there. But what happened was a few people I think said it to me over the last couple of days, but this is what turned me in favor of it. And that's that they said, I don't support taxes, but this money's staying local. And I changed on that because I was against it. But when I heard, that's right. And
so is it 7% now?
It's 7%. I've never heard anybody complain. New Hampshire's 9%, and that was also part of the argument people were making. But Haverhill's getting about $1 million a year from that restaurant, meals tax.
Which is a good thing.
That's a real good thing.
And 3/4%.
When people go to restaurants, when they pick a restaurant to go to, do you think that they are really thinking about that?
No.
That they're thinking about the tax. They're going to go where they enjoy the
food
and the drink.
Right. I agree. So you know what? So I think I made the right choice. It helped the community, and nobody's complaining about it. So we're in good shape.
And it's so minuscule.
Well, it is. It is.
It is. And if anybody wants to complain, they can call the Open Mic Show tonight and let you know that. But I wouldn't expect any
complaints. No, I don't think so. And a lot of people do. There are a few restaurants in New Hampshire, but, fortunately, you know why all the restaurants are like up on 125 on North Main Street and why they're all there in that little restaurant row? It's because we have the water and sewerage.
Oh, yeah.
And restaurants in New Hampshire, if they're on a septic system, they have a much bigger expense to install the proper septic and a continuing expense of cleaning all the grease and the grease traps and maintenance, and then they can also fail restaurants, that aren't, but on city and water and sewerage. So that's our advantage. That's why
you sure do have a lot of information.
I know a little bit about everything. Yep.
You do?
Yeah.
What other subject you want to talk about?
I want to talk about taking a break. It's
it's break time,
Yep.
and I need to make room for other callers to get through.
Well, thank you very much for calling in. Always enjoyable and good conversation. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Sure enough.
Thank you, caller.
All right.
Make sure you call next Monday night.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right. It is just about 6:45 on the new open mic. Bill Macek and Bill Ellis here. So we'll be right back on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Bill Macek and the new open mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, consider becoming a WHAV member right now. Just click on the membership tab at WHAV.net.
Stay informed each day with local news, coupled with FSN's worldwide coverage. 97.9 WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source. There's always more at WHAV.net.
Catch the wave.
Hi, Tom Bergeron here. I started at WHAV in 1972. And look, WHAV's still here, but it won't be if you don't help support it. Go to WHAV.net. Become a contributor. Keep us going.
Open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Bill Macek here, along with Bill Ellis on the new open mic. And we've got something to give away here, Bill.
Peter Cetera.
Peter Cetera, again, it's coming up, so I think this will be the last chance for people to call in and win.
No, you know how I'd like to do it? Is ask a trivia question based on Peter Cetera's past.
All right.
I'm going to ask the trivia question.
All right.
And I want you to read that.
Let me read this.
We have a call coming up.
We have another call.
And here's the trivia question. The name Chicago band had another name before that they were forced to change.
Oh, I can win the tickets.
You could probably do that.
All right.
We got a call coming in.
But first, let me do this because it's important that we say that the following message is on behalf of the city of Lynn. Lynn Auditorium is the North Shore's premier entertainment venue, presenting A-list acts such as Chicago, the Steve Miller Band, Foreigner, and so many others. Lynn Auditorium offers free parking, full concessions, and not a bad seat in the house. It costs less to see a show at Lynn Auditorium than it costs to just park in Boston. So, the upcoming shows include Peter Cetera, who was the lead singer of Chicago, and also the Chieftains. He was with them, and Eric Burden, and also the Animals are going to be showing up. Lots of the Yardbirds, great band. I remember them.
The Animals.
When I was young, that was one of their songs. Was it? Anyway, no, that was the Animals. And
Eric Burden.
Eric Burden.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite?
I've gotten off the script here. Let me just finish.
My
this up.
favorite song is Sky Pilot.
Good song.
Excellent
Yeah.
song.
Stephen Stills, Judy Collins, the Happy Together tour, Flo and Eddie of the Turtles, and much, much more going on at the Lynn Auditorium. You should check it out. Just go to lynnauditorium.com for more information.
For all my life. I'm sorry. You got me on that song.
Yeah, okay.
Now it's going to be in my head forever.
All right. Well, please don't sing it forever. Anyway, this is going on at the Lynn Auditorium. The show's coming right up. And it doesn't have the date in here for Peter Cetera. But we're going to give away tickets right now. And if you can answer Bill's trivia question, give us a call, 978-374-1900.
We do have a call.
I think we have another call. I don't know if it's to answer your question, but
No, the call came in before we asked.
Right.
So why don't you?
Well, maybe they're a psychic.
Maybe they could be too.
We'll ask whoever it is if they're psychic.
Well, why don't you hit the board so they can we can listen to what they have to say.
Okay. Do we have a caller on the line?
Yes, good evening, Bill. How are you?
Jerry, how are you? Can you answer the question for the tickets?
I can't.
You can't?
Cade Mill.
Yes.
Bill, Cade Mill La Falta. That's the Gaelic version of 100,000 Blessings.
Yeah, that's
March 22nd, by the way, is Peter Cetera.
Peter Cetera is March 22nd. You have your trusty laptop working there
Yes.
Hey, Bill.
so diligently. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I wrote an Irish song. Another fellow and I wrote an Irish song.
You did?
You want me to recite it or sing it?
How long is it?
It's a short one. It's only one
verse? One verse. Okay. You know what? I want you to sing it.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, I'll try.
I think it'll be more interesting.
No, but if you sing it, though, sing it with the tune to the Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Let me tell you of a story that became a part of me. 'Twas the sweetest thing that happened when I crushed the Irish Sea. On my way to meet my darling, sure the angels placed it there, and they led me to the one rose in all of Ireland. First I spied it as I wandered by the lakes of Killarney, like a vision of my true love, with her lips so sweet and fair. 'Twas the first rose of Killarney, sure and God had placed it there. So I picked it for my darling, and she wore it in her hair.
That's a great song. I like
good,
that song.
Jerry. You wrote that, huh?
Well, me and another guy, he was Italian.
Yeah?
So, on the sheet music, it's and I did what's called a poor man's whatever you call
Publishing?
it.
publishing or
publishing.
You know,
Yeah,
Lennon
put
and
it in
McCarthy
an
are in
envelope
trouble now.
And you send it to yourself.
Yes, yeah.
Poor man's copyright.
Yeah, copyright, yeah.
And the other fellow's name was Papalato, but he changed it for the song. He said it says at the top of it, songs and music by Jerry McCall and Eddie Ward.
Eddie Ward, yeah.
Eddie Ward, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's been popular
see,
around,
the people use different
Merrimack
names.
Valley. Pardon?
People have different professional names.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another guy, a very successful musician around the area. If have you ever seen the band or heard of the band Rico Barr?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's
he played drums, and the
Right.
band. He's filled in a few times when we were playing. When the band that I was in was playing.
Right.
He played drums. I know that.
He's an excellent musician, but
Yeah, and
he's
he's
also
an attorney.
He's an attorney, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know him well.
Yeah.
I used to go down, and when Haverhill would have him down at the park there, he'd play. The group would play. He has a small band, about 3 or 4 guys at the time.
Yeah.
We had a big band.
Right.
And on
He's still
occasion,
playing.
Once in a while, our drummer would be on vacation or something.
He does a lot of
Rico
good
Barr,
stuff. Hey,
and he used to come in.
Yeah.
And substitute, and he was a great drummer.
he is good
He
musician.
is a great drummer.
Hey Jerry, you want to hold on and
Jerry,
we'll
call
get
us
back
back
to you. Or
after
call
se-
us back after
after
7. No, we got a guest after 7.
That's all right.
Okay.
We got to take our winner. We have a call who we think
All
could
right,
be the winner for the
I'm gonna put
tickets.
My number is going to be number 3 for the 3 pedals of the Irish Shamrock. Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jerry.
Jerry, thank you very much.
All right. Let's go to a caller here and see who might be on the line. Hi, who's this?
My name's John.
John. Okay, John, are you calling in for the Peter Cetera tickets?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What's the answer to
What's
the
the
trivia
answer to
question?
the trivia question?
Chicago Transit Authority.
Congratulations.
You got it, John. All right. Now, did you look that up, or are you old enough to remember that?
No, my mom played me a lot of different music. She told me what it was a long time ago.
Okay.
So
well,
you cheated.
No.
Okay.
So
Had a good rock and roll history.
Well, let me ask you a question. There's 2 tickets. You going to take your mom? She would like it.
Yeah, she probably would like it.
God bless you.
all right. What's the date's the 24th, right?
22nd.
22nd. On the 22nd. Now, all you're going to need to do is show up with, your license or some type of ID and a picture ID.
Did you give Chris
Yeah.
your information?
Yes, I gave somebody some information.
Okay, good. So that information is going to be forwarded to the Lynn Auditorium box office the night of the show. If you show up with your photo ID, they'll let 2 people in, yourself and your guest.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Congratulations. You any good at music trivia?
No, right.
Because Bill was just talking to Jerry about drummers. Ringo Starr was not always the drummer for the Beatles.
No, I know there was a 5th Beatle, and he left the group because he didn't think they were going to be successful on that crap.
Peter
who?
Best.
All right, but who was the 5th Beatle, though? Who was the other one?
Billy Preston.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Billy Preston was later on, but there was Stu Sutcliffe.
I said Peter Noon, but I know I'm probably wrong.
Peter Noon? No, that he was with the.
No.
I'm Henry VIII. I am Henry VIII. I am.
Herman's Hermits.
Hermits. Yeah.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah.
Good singer.
Yeah.
Very good. That Stu Sutcliffe was performing in Germany with them when they played the Cavern Club, and he got hit in the head. He got mugged.
Yeah.
And then not long afterwards, he died from a brain aneurysm.
I never heard that story.
Yeah, that's a true story.
Huh. Well, hey, John, thank you for calling in. Have a great time at the show. If you can't make it, do let us know, and we'll try to get another name in if you can't make it. So, last minute with the box office, because we'd hate to see our seats not get used.
Is it this month?
Yeah, it's in
March 22nd. That's
couple of
next
days.
week.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah, next.
If I can't make it, I hope it does go to somebody. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, okay.
Well, make sure-
well, can you let us know, or we can, if you have a friend or relative you want to give the tickets to, let us know that person's name. We'll put their name on the list.
Yeah, because it's Thursday. It's the 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but
Well,
thanks for calling in and answering the question at least.
Oh, no problem. Thanks
And-
for taking my call.
All right, and let us know if you can't use the tickets, and if you have somebody you want to give them to, or you just want to release them, we'll find somebody to go.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yep, you too.
All
Bye.
right, that's the way it works. See, right here we
Pretty good.
those are
You
great
see,
tickets.
and you knew that answer, Chicago Transit Authority.
I did know that. Yeah,
Amazing, Billy.
CTA. It was actually on the white. It was a white album cover, and it had CTA on it.
Talk about a white album cover. The Beatles had one, but something was embossed on the album.
Right.
What was it?
It said the Beatles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't be stumped, can you?
You know, I know my music pretty good. You know, I'm sure I can be stumped.
Maybe I'll try to stump you. One more. All right. Name me another group that had some songs written for them by Paul McCartney.
Chad and Jeremy?
No, Peter and Gordon.
Peter and Gordon, but that's
yes,
Peter.
Because actually, Peter, I think, was dating, or McCartney was dating Peter's sister at the time.
That's right. That's right. It was. I knew it was one of those two name, but I
Yeah,
jumped
see,
too
I
quick.
mentioned Chad and Jeremy
I jumped too
before
quick.
that too.
Yes, you screwed me up.
I did that.
You tricked me.
Well,
Yeah,
you
all right.
lost.
They also, I don't know, it was the whole band, but I think McCartney. Remember the band Badfinger?
I remember that.
That song was their big hit. Was written by, was written by, I think McCartney.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? They always put Lennon and McCarthy down, no matter if one of them wrote the song.
McCarthy? Did you say McCarthy?
McCartney.
McCartney. Get
Paul
it right.
McCartney. They would always put Lennon and McCartney down. Who do you think was the better of the two writers? Afterwards, they had songs on their own.
Lennon and McCartney. Who was the better? Depends what kind of music you liked.
Who had the first big hit after they broke up?
Probably Ringo.
It was Ringo.
Yeah. He's had a lot of hits.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how many songs. He had a lot of Beatles songs he sang.
Well, they give him one or two tracks, and that was it. And George Harrison had some tremendous songs.
I think I enjoyed his music probably best after they first broke up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, they were good.
Well, All Things Must Pass.
I remember that.
All Things Must Pass.
And he got sued for a song that supposedly was a copy of another song. You remember what that song was?
No, I think
Crackerbox Palace.
Oh,
he gets sued because I guess the tune sounded very similar to another song, and they had to go to court.
I get
and he
upset
lost.
when I hear about those suits because usually I think they're a little far fetched.
Well, that can happen, and so forth.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we have a guest coming up in the 7 o'clock hour.
We do.
And I'm kind of excited about this because I like history, and he's going to be talking about
a lot of veteran
people,
stuff and
right,
a lot of
of
history.
Haverhill,
Yep.
Massachusetts.
Yep. E. Philip Brown, local guy, and he's going to be our guest right after the 7 o'clock break, which is coming up.
And I got to find out what does the E stand for.
I know that, but I won't.
Is
tell
it
you.
because
I don't know if he wants any-
here's the thing. I understand
I want to get his permission.
He's very active with the ladies, and the E is for vitamin E.
No, stop.
Look at he's in the other room. I can see
you
his
can
look
see
on his
him?
face. Oh yeah.
Oh,
he's got a
jeez.
gun in his hand.
Yeah, he may not want to come on the show knowing you're here. All right, it is 7 o'clock. This is the new open mic on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Bill Macek and the new open mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, consider becoming a WHAV member right now. Just click on the membership tab at WHAV.net.
It's 7 o'clock.
WHAV LP Haverhill.
Here's what's happening in local news. Power outages that plunged City Hall and other public buildings into chilly darkness have inspired a look at the status of storm preparation for municipal properties. Haverhill was among the more harder hit communities by the March 7th nor'easter. 2 days after the snow stopped, large swaths of the city were still unlit except for the lucky businesses and homeowners who had the foresight to install generators. On Tuesday, city councilors will assess the ability of municipal buildings, from schools to public safety to administrative offices, to keep the heat and lights on. The council meets beginning at 7 o'clock in City Hall. At a recent meeting of the Council's Administration and Finance Subcommittee, Fire Chief William LaLiberty said all city fire stations are in need of replacement backup power generators at a cost of about $100,000 for the main station on Water Street and $45,000 for satellite stations around the city. Councilor Melinda Barrett and Council Vice President Thomas Sullivan said they'd like a report on the operational status of generators in all municipal properties, as well as a review of the city's emergency management plan to determine whether or not it needs updating. In a similar request, Council President John Mitchison has requested a discussion on a safety audit of every public school and municipal building in the city. The first of 5 new eateries is getting ready to open at a new shopping center on the Haverhill-Plastow border. Five Guys, a Virginia-based chain serving hot dogs, burgers, and sandwiches, has nearly completed construction and secured its licenses for entertainment and food service recently from the city's License Commission. Janie Davis, district manager, told commissioners the store prides itself on sticking with a limited menu.
They're very old school. That's why we only sell burgers, fries, and shakes.
While Five Guys is a national chain, the new Haverhill location and 15 others is owned by franchisee Gary Vasey of Hyde Park Burgers. The store has been scheduled to open last week but was delayed while interior construction continues. According to a notice on the building, Five Guys is interviewing job applicants all day, located at 89 Plastow Road, Haverhill, in what will be known as the Five Corners Shopping Center. The $5 million complex will also eventually house Kobe Buddha House, Chipotle Mexican Grill, Aroma Joe's, and one other restaurant to be announced, says Steven Stepinski of Merrimack Engineering, one of the developers. With a crowded Democratic ballot going into the race to succeed the 3rd District's Nikki Tsongas, Haverhill's Democratic City Committee wants to help voters make a more informed decision. On Wednesday, the city group will welcome those on the ballot to a public meet and greet at Maria's Restaurant, 81 Essex Street, Haverhill. The meal starts at 5:30. Candidates will rotate from table to table to talk with voters from 6 to 7:30. Members of the public are invited for a $5 fee. The admission charge is waived for students. Candidates include Alexandra Chandler, Senator Barbara L'Italian, Daniel Coe, Beej Das, Rufus Gifford, Patrick Littlefield, Bofa Malone, and Representative Juana Matias, as well as Terrence Ryan, Keith St. John, Lori Trahan, Leonard Golder, and Jeff Ballinger. Hop 2 at Haverhill, the Pentucket Kiwanis Club welcomes a very special guest to breakfast at Maria's this Saturday, the Easter Bunny. Residents are invited to enjoy pancakes, eggs, bacon, and sausage, and visit with the bunny himself from 8 to 11 a.m. at 81 Essex Street. The breakfast is free and open to all. Remember, WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source. There's always more at WHAV.net. From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, I'm Eric Scott.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Rebecca Foster. The UK and the EU are hailing a decisive step on Brexit after some breakthrough agreements on a transitional period. Facebook shares have fallen after revelations the firm Cambridge Analytica used personal data collected from Facebook to help Donald Trump become president. And representatives from 50 nations are in New Delhi for an informal meeting of the World Trade Organization.
Wave weather.
Here's the wave weather forecast for Haverhill and the Merrimack Valley. For tonight, clear skies, low 17, light northwest winds. On Tuesday, sunny, high 41, low 21. And the outlook for Wednesday, cloudy skies with snow showers, high 36, low 29. I'm WHAV meteorologist Jim Vaughn. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
97.9 WHAV.
WHAV, Merrimack Valley, open mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
And we are back on the new open mic. I'm Bill Macek. Like guest co-host is here, Bill Ellis, and
Good
also
evening.
our real guest for this hour, E. Philip Brown, is here. He's going to talk about something very interesting to the area and to many of our listeners who would like to actually be part of the book, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure, yeah.
So I'm going to, rather than start with questions, do you want to do a little introduction about who you are, what you're doing, and just kind of run through things? Because I think you could probably do it better than me.
Okay, that sounds good, yeah. I'm Phil Brown. I've taught at Haverhill High School for the past 10 years. I retired in September. I've written some local history books, the Haverhill Sports Trivia book. No, sorry, the Haverhill Sports Hall of Fame and Trivia book. That was actually my second book. The first one, so I did my History Haverhill class. It was the Haverhill, Massachusetts Trivia book. Then I did a 300th, I was on the 375th anniversary committee for the city. We did a book together of ships, shoes, and mills or something like that. Then for my master's degree in public history, I did the Armenians of the Merrimack Valley for Arcadia Publishing. I did that with Tom Vodabedian. And that went very well.
Great guy.
So, my wife is Greek, and, family members and members of AHEPA that I'm active in, and other people say, why didn't you do Greeks, And as I was doing research for the Armenians, for every Armenian I found, there was 5 Greeks. So I said, it should be easy. So needless to say, I did it. So then I'm looking for a project. I have a business on the side called Booster Zone that I did a book for Newburyport. They had their athletics Hall of Fame, Wall of Fame, they call it, and miscellaneous trivia. So I did it for Newburyport High School as a fundraiser, and it went fairly well. So now that I'm semi-retired, I'd like to do more of this. This is kind of a passion of mine. I kind of fell into it. So looking for ideas for books, I was thinking of doing one about farms in the Merrimack Valley or the Italians of the Merrimack Valley, because Pat O'Malley Trainer did two Irish of Haverhill books, one Italians of Haverhill book, and so there's not much to do in Haverhill. There's still a lot to do, but I figured Merrimack Valley would be a bigger footprint.
Sure.
But that might be a someday project. But I've been hanging around Battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds
Coffee on Washington Street since I started and got to know the owners, Sal and Dana DeFranco, and saw what they were doing, running a business and trying to help the community and helping veterans, because he was in the SEALs and their whole kind of what am I looking for? Their theme is sort of military related, and the helping veterans groups. And I was thinking, geez, if I want to do a fundraiser, I want to do something for veterans, because I feel very strongly about them and what's going on now, and I just can't believe the problems we have with homelessness and mental illness in the veteran community, and that we have a whole center, Veterans Northeast Outreach Center.
I think Haverhill does a pretty nice job, but there's always more to be done with the veterans.
Yeah. So I was saying, why don't I do a history of soldiers or service people, servicemen and women in Haverhill, and raise funds for various veterans groups, and of course the Veterans Northeast Outreach Center, VNOC they call it. So here I am, sales of I've been out selling ads to businesses. That's doing well, so it's definitely going to be a book. I've raised enough revenue. I've only asked for reservations. I haven't accepted any deposits yet. Once the book is done, which I think is going to be in about a month, because I'm making a lot of progress with it. So then I'll get deposits, and so it's going to happen.
Nice.
I want it in plenty of time before Memorial Day. So the books will be sold. I'll be given the books will be given to various veterans groups like American Legion, AMVETS, and so forth, and VNOC. But what I'm also going to do is to help entice advertisers. I want to put them in every waiting room I can find in the city. I mean, lawyers, doctors, accountants, hospitals, whatever.
Great idea.
So that it's there and people are bored. Instead of reading that 4-month-old issue of Good Housekeeping, they're going to look at this book about service people in Haverhill. Yeah. So, and that'll appeal. And, like the Wounded Warriors do, and lots of other fundraising groups, you get the letter in the mail, and you get the return label stickers and a nickel taped to a piece of cardboard, and now they want you to be obligated to send them
to the nickel. You know what? I always feel bad if I get something in the mail that has a stamp on it, with an envelope that you got to return. I feel guilty, and I always send something back because I don't want to waste that 46-cent stamp.
Yeah, that's why they do that.
That's why they
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
So
it works.
for every, if 8 out of 10 people throw it away, recycle it, keep the penny or the return. And I do use the return address labels, even if I don't give. I don't care. That's what they get.
There's an honest man.
Here he is.
The first couple times I have done it, and they prey on the elderly, of course, and feel obligated. They're not used to getting something for nothing, so it works. So maybe it'll work. So I put it in a dentist's office and I say, hey, here's a book. Can you please give me a waiting room? People advertised in it. And,
Yeah.
And
I
if you'd like to
think
make a
it's a great
donation,
concept.
Here's a little form. Just send it with a check and $20.
Well, the first form I got, and I know I was going to do this after the show probably because we didn't get a chance to really get together before. But my mother and father were extremely active in Haverhill AmVets. I grew up as an AmVet kid, I used to say, and my band used to play at some of their dances when they were down on River Street. I remember them on River Street.
Oh,
in
really?
Haverhill.
I didn't know that.
That burnt down. It's where the Enterprise car lot is, where they park their cars. There was a building there, and that was AmVets. And,
I never knew that.
It burnt down. And then they went temporarily to Locust Street. Locust, one of those two streets down there. And they were on the second floor. But that's when the city actually gave them the parcel on Primrose Street, where it was just a piece of land. And the city, I think they paid $1 for it. I don't know if you can even do that anymore, but they did. It's a veterans organization, and they then put together the construction, found the ability to build what we know now as the AmVets on Primrose Street. And my mother and father, my dad had every local position more than once, I think, in the AmVets, and he had, I think, all the state positions. My mother was active with the auxiliary, and it's just such a great thing. I was in the lottery system when they had a draft, and my number honestly didn't come up. I just, I guess I never thought about.
Tell the truth. What was it? How was life in Montreal?
Yeah. No, but I didn't. I wish I had served now, but it's too late. I don't think I'm young enough to get in.
Alvin York.
Well, it's funny. It's funny. My father used to bring me to the VFW and the AmVets. Tell my mother, "Take Philip, we're gonna have some quality time." So we'd watch a ball game. You talk to the old boxer. You'd have a shot and a beer.
Yeah,
and,
but I spent
Fleischmann's on a bud.
I spent so much time at the AmVets growing up.
I didn't like it, but it was.
But I was going to tell you, I want to buy one of your pages from my mom and dad.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll show. I made an example of a tribute I did for my father.
Maybe we can get our producer to put that up. Do you have the picture of his book that you can put up on screen? Okay, so he's working with his tongue out of his mouth. Okay, you got it? It's up? Okay. And we can't really see it, but I think Phil can talk about it. Can you?
What do we have up there? I can't.
Is it the
cover or is
we
it the
can't see it in
memorial?
here. Is it the cover? The cover? Yeah, it's the cover.
The cover shows at the top 4 famous people from Haverhill. One is I can't remember all their first names. Glenn, who was the mayor's son, who died during World War II, and that was a big tragedy. 150 men died in the war, but for the mayor to lose his own son, it's tragic.
It is.
Now, what battle did he lose his life in?
I can't remember all the details. It's my head is so chock full of information. I can't bring stuff out. I was at the National Archives in Waltham today trying to find, fill in the blanks. A lot of stuff I'm looking for. But Haverhill has. Oh, sorry. The other 3 people are Bartlett, who was in the Civil War hero. Brickett, who was a American Revolutionary hero, and then Ralph Basilier, who was the first Haverhill soldier to die in Vietnam.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the other picture is a photo of Wax, I believe, in a parade, either Wax or Waves, in a parade in Haverhill. So this book, World War II in Haverhill, I've noticed people on buzz about it, and it's been out there forever. I think it was made in 1946. I can't remember the year. I'm sorry. Forgive me. But it's such a great book. It has all the photos and a little bio of all the soldiers that died. Okay, and then it lists every single person in the city they could find.
Wow.
Their addresses, where they were stationed out of, when they were inducted, when they were discharged, and the battle stars or awards they got, and so forth. So I've used it in History of Haverhill class, going over World War II. Actually, even if it wasn't History of Haverhill, World War II, I'd connect World War II that I was teaching World History to Haverhill, show local people who died. I showed us. I never noticed these before until I started teaching and doing this. All the white signs around the city of the soldiers that had died.
Yeah. I remember when they went up. Yeah.
So when did they go up, and who's responsible for those? Because I've been trying to find that information.
It might have been Bill Ryan. It was back probably, I think, around that time. Ryan or Pelosi.
Okay, because now that
I think that's about when they went up.
I never was aware of them. Now that I know what they are, I look for them. I see them everywhere I go.
Yeah, they are.
And
it's squares and intersections, and yeah.
So there's a sign right down the bottom of the street from the high school, and I'd say this person, was killed in a plane crash or whatever, Sabarine, and he lived at the corner of Pilgrim, kind of in Standish. And the kids walk by that every day, on the way to school, lots of kids.
It's such interesting stuff, too, and it's real. And that's, it's even when it comes down to watching a movie, if it's fact-based, I usually enjoy it more. If it has some kind
I'll enjoy a film just for the historical stuff, even if it's a bad plot or weak acting. I never knew that before. I gotta look into that
It's
more.
interesting, because my mother worked in South Station during the war, and they would bring the soldiers back. And she said all of a sudden everybody would stop, and basically respect as they moved the coffins, off the trains.
Yeah, that's
it's that I try to connect kids and people when I'm giving presentations, whatever. To these are real people. Sometimes you forget. Sometimes they become numbers or just names and just one more name. But these are real people. Like I was manually writing down all the people who died, 150 names, because I'll get to that later. And I'm like, every name, like a lot of these people, I'm seeing the pictures and I'm seeing the last names. I think I might know this person's nephew or son.
Hundreds of thousands.
It's like these are real people. And then I was thinking. Then I noticed when I was a kid, during the Vietnam War, one of the older boys in my neighborhood, Peter Marston, was killed in a motorcycle accident. I think he was in Texas, and he was a medic, he was a sergeant.
Yeah.
And he was about to be shipped out to Korea. He got killed in a motorcycle accident. And, it wasn't combat related, but so what? It doesn't matter. He signed up, he served his country, he served it well. I remember being with him. I used to play with his little sister.
No kidding.
They were the only people in the neighborhood when I first moved up there, Chadwick Road, Cedar Cross Lane area.
Yeah.
So they were like the only family.
Yeah.
And I remember him, and we admired him because he was older and on the ball, and he was the only boy in the family of like 6 kids or something. And it was so tragic. I remember that with people were really depressed in that neighborhood. Sure. It was so tragic. And it happened during the Vietnam War. You figure, oh, good, he's not in Vietnam.
He makes it through Vietnam, and then
that happens a lot. And there are a lot of non-combat related deaths of accidents or whatever that happen. And
look at the Civil War. More people died from disease than they did from battle.
Infections. Infections. They didn't know about germs and bacteria.
We're going to pause for a little break, and we'll be back with more discussion with Phil Brown and Bill Ellis and myself, Bill Macek, right here on the new Open Mic on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open Mic!
Bill Macek and the new Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, consider becoming a WHAV member right now. Just click on the membership tab at whav.net.
Broadcasting on the Armstrong FM system, this is 97.9 WHAV.
Catch the wave!
On air or online, 97.9 WHAV serves you. Twice an hour weekdays, keep up to date with exclusive local news and weather. Find out about civic events on Community Spotlight every quarter hour. and better prepare with wave weather every 30 minutes. Mass Moments, Melinda's Garden Moment, Soundbeat, and Insight Daily complete the spectrum. Hear classic comedy and drama 7 nights a week at 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Finally, a unique blend of rock and roll hits from the 60s, 70s, and 80s round out the entertainment. Stay with 97.9 WHAV, the only Haverhill-based news source.
Community Spotlight.
What do a publicist, a Massachusetts Supreme Court judge, and an author have in common? They're all speaking at the Greater Haverhill Chamber of Commerce's Winning Opportunities for Women Conference March 30th at Salisbury's Blue Ocean Music Hall. Among this year's guest speakers are author Dr. Bridget Cooper, publicist Kat Knox, and Superior Court Judge Sharon Poole Donatelli, a Haverhill native who was also the first girl in the country to play Little League Baseball. Tickets are $99, and discounted tables of 5 are also available. Breakfast and lunch are included. Register at haverhillchamber.com. Someone you know is on WHAV. To submit or read your own nonprofit announcements, click on the Contact tab at whav.net or email news@whav.net. In the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, this is Robin Fancher.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
And we are back on the new Open Mic. Our guest this hour is Phil Brown, and he's writing another book. And this time it's about veterans, and you're going to actually raise some money through advertising with that book, and you're going to give that to veterans, right?
Yes, I'm going to be giving at least 1,000 books to veterans groups to sell at 100% profit. I've done this before. And also I want to put books in waiting rooms everywhere in the city so that that'll appeal to advertisers. I'm also raising money and asking for a voluntary donation to the Veterans Northeast Outreach Center, which helps veterans with housing problems.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very important cause, and it's the old St. Rita's Church.
They are.
My parents got married. So.
And they are also going to be growing. They're going to be putting up more accommodations on Washington Street.
I mean, housing is tough.
Veterans
doesn't
housing.
matter whether you're veterans or low income. Just in general, we just can't make enough quality housing. But
you're also doing tribute pages.
Yeah,
right?
There's also tribute pages. So the business ads are a little pricey, but I think it's great for a good price for what they're going to get with all the issues and how many people are going to see it every day. But I'm also letting people put in a tribute, like the Tribune does. People give a tribute for an anniversary or the death of someone. I made one for my father. If they can put it up here.
Okay.
My father,
Chris, if you could put the tribute page up for those that are watching either on Facebook or WHAV.net, and that is up now, and you get an idea of the quality and the type of tribute that somebody. I'm going to get one from my parents who are both gone.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now,
absolutely.
Now, if the people need information, I'm having, as we speak, the Haverhill and World War II book scanned and made searchable. So if I put in my father's name, it's going to bring it to that book online. So that should be available in a couple weeks. I'm shooting for. Right. So. That is a wonderful book. I've been doing research in Merrimack Valley for the Greeks and the Armenians book, and I was looking for similar books in libraries, special collections all around the Merrimack Valley. They didn't, not even close. I mean, this is once in a while we have moments of brilliance, and that was one thing that the people did. That was brilliant. I don't see anything like that in my travels.
Well, I think your waiting room idea is brilliant.
Yeah,
because that will be a lot of exposure, and they'll stay there.
Yeah,
for years.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
because it's timeless.
You might want to have
Yeah.
to put a chain on it though, because it may go.
That's okay.
it
Hey,
may-
if somebody swipes
it
it, I'll
may
bring
go-
another
all
one.
right.
That's good. That's even better. You know.
Okay. Now, if somebody does want to reach you, say somebody that owns a business wants to get involved, wants to do a tribute or something, how can they reach you?
They can go to boosterzone.com, or they can email me at boosterzone@gmail.com.
Okay.
So
So-
that's the best way to do it.
Okay, great.
And I'll if they need information, I will do the research as part of the full page is 100, half page is 50, quarter page is 25. So if they need additional research, and some people have already contacted me from Facebook, where I mentioned it, and I found information in the book for them.
Great.
So it's and if it's not in there, I can go to ancestry.com. I have multiple sources to
Find information.
It gives the where they lived at the time they were drafted or enlisted. Tells you what their rank was. Any service that where they were in where they served, where they the camp they were out of, when they were inducted, when they were discharged, and everything. So it's really good information that every family should have.
That's great.
So who's the most notable soldier? Like, for instance, Bowdoin, Maine has Joshua Chamberlain. Is there one particular name, like a?
I would think Brickett, because he was actually at Fort Ticonderoga. When they beat the British, he transported the soldiers all the way back to Boston, as prisoners, and he was in some major battles and everything. So we, of course, Bartlett too in the Civil War. So they were pretty good. Now,
how many casualties were there at Fort Ticonderoga?
Don't do that to me.
Zero.
I'm a world.
Zero?
Seriously, yeah. When Ethan Allen, you're talking about that, right?
Yeah.
Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys, and Benedict Arnold was there with them also. They caught the British basically drunk. They walked right in and took it over. But you know what? Talking about that is, I think it's amazing. They took those cannons to Dorchester Heights.
Right, yeah.
And the British didn't know if they were coming.
So-
And they basically, in the middle of the night, off the beaten path, oxen would be pulling them. At the Dorchester Heights. It's a long drive, never mind pulling by oxen.
And who led them there? A Haverhill guy.
That's
who
it.
brought them from Ticonderoga to Boston was a Haverhill guy.
Now, is he from the Brickett Hill area?
I think it's named after him. So whether it's that area, they just use the name.
You're not sure where
I'm
if the family
just guessing. Just
the
guessing.
Brickett
Now,
farm
where's he buried? Is he
Pentucket Cemetery next to
Linwood?
No. Yes, Linwood. Yeah,
Yeah.
next to the Haverhill Historical Society.
Right.
Buttonwoods. He's in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many places. Let me. I just want to make sure I go over the
Go
table of
ahead.
contents.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go back to the American Revolution. So I'm trying to find the names of people who served and who died. Okay. So American Revolution, I have. War of 1812, I have. I actually found at the Haverhill Special Collections at the Haverhill Public Library a list of the many soldiers who served in the Mexican border wars of 1916. I didn't know that was a thing. I knew we were involved in there with the Civil War, Pancho Villa, chasing them back and forth and everything. But we had many guys who served in that. I have Spanish-American War, which also has the Boxer Rebellion and the Filipino insurrection. I'm working on the Civil War. I have the deaths because that's on the statue in Monument Square. I'm trying to find a list of everybody who served. I have an old one of the last GAR, Grand Army of the Republic, pamphlets every Memorial Day, because they started Memorial Day, I think. They, that group, they used to go to all the graves and put something and do a ceremony. So they list all the cemeteries and all the soldiers in the Civil War who were at each cemetery, and then they would do something on Memorial Day. So I have like one of the last booklets.
Wow.
But that doesn't mean it's complete.
Right.
So it has all the people who died, but it doesn't mean that it's complete. Some guys moved out, and so I'm working on that. So if anybody knows where that list might be, let me
anybody
know.
that can help out, they should reach out to you to help.
So I have World War I. There's a book online that I've put out on Facebook, a link to it at the National Archives or at the Library of Congress or whatever. That's really cool. I really like that because it lists everybody who served they could find and other stories. They even have the National Guard, the people who used to serve out of the Armory building, which is the Fireman's Museum,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
So they also call that the Light Brigade before. So I'm going to try to include militia when I can. There is no militia anymore.
Yeah.
That's
right.
They were kind of
Disbanded.
taken over.
Yeah.
I mean, the governors are responsible for what they call National Guard, and so, but that's really run by the federal government. Although the governors have responsibility, and
But at least I don't want to go down that road. Okay, so World War II, we have an excellent book, as I said. I'm having that scanned, searchable PDF. It's going to be online. I got to find a home for it. Hopefully the library will take it. I have Korean War deaths. I don't have Korean War soldiers, everyone who served. I'm working on that. I have Vietnam War deaths, working on that. Persian Gulf Wars, I want to know who went, if anyone died. I'm not sure if Haverhill people died. Persian Gulf War. People I know around it have people from Hampstead or other communities, or maybe have relatives in Haverhill.
Sure.
So I'm looking for that, all that, and Afghanistan, of course, Persian Gulf. I'm going to list every veterans organization, new and old, whether existing or not.
Yeah.
All the monuments and memorials, war monuments and memorials all around the city. I want to have a chapter on veterans in the community, like who's doing what, and also current soldiers. So I found I ran into
It's
City
so
Hall a
interesting.
kid.
It's really history. A history.
So
book.
examples, and I want to inspire. Something the recruiters downtown are going to show the kids. They're putting their waiting room. When a kid's waiting, he's going to be flipping through all the people who served honorably from this city.
Yeah.
One thing I'm working on that I'm having difficulty with, and I figured it'd be easy to find, is a list of every business in Haverhill that provides services, discounts, promotions, specifically for veterans. Like Battlegrounds might give 10% off to veterans or people in the military. I can't remember. Ronnie's Oil gives a discount. So some people did get back to me but there's got to be a lot more out there.
I'm sure.
And you know what would be a nice thing too is if people listening to what you're just saying would like to become part of that and offer discounts.
Businesses.
Yeah, I'll put that up for free. You don't have to pay.
Yeah.
This is for free. If you are aware of anybody who gives a discount to a soldier or anything, specifically for soldiers, veterans, somehow let me or WHAV know, and we'll make sure that list is available to everybody in the city, everywhere, not just in the book.
And are you going to list it in the book? Though,
I did come across a national thing. Somebody's going to send me information about like national chains and online stuff, so that's going to be in there. No charge for that. If you're
nice.
But I want to put that together. So if anybody's aware of anything like that, please send it. Why isn't there a list? And you know something? Why isn't there a book like this already? I mean,
I know. Now
why doesn't every city have? We say, "Oh, veterans so important. Thank you for your service." But wow,
just
it doesn't seem like we're
listening to
taking
all
good care
the
of
things you're doing. Have you been keeping track of your time?
Well, I'm semi-retired.
I know, but you should get yourself even an old time clock, so you punch in and punch out. Because I bet it would be amazing to know the amount of hours that you put into this. But you're doing it because you want to.
Well, it gets easier as I know of where things are, as I know where I can find stuff and how to search properly and know. I can't rave enough about the special collections. If you haven't been there, you got to go see what they have. You wouldn't believe. And we have one of the best in the area. We have some really great stuff in the city.
Yeah, we do. Haverhill's a great community. Hey, I gotta once again pause for the cause, and we'll be right back. Maybe we'll take some phone calls if somebody has a question
Why don't we do that?
or a comment.
Yeah,
and we'll be right back on the new open mic right here. I'm Bill Macek. Bill Ellis is here as a co-host, and Phil Brown is here as our special guest. And we'll be right back on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Bill Macek and the new open mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, consider becoming a WHAV member right now. Just click on the membership tab at whav.net.
It's 7:34.
Stay informed each day with local news coupled with FSN's worldwide coverage. 97.9 WHAV is the only Haverhill-based news source. There's always more at whav.net.
Catch the wave.
Would it surprise you to know radio still reaches more than 90% of people in every age group every week? It's a fact. And 97.9 WHAV FM's target audience averages 92%. While other media are cutting back, area residents turn to WHAV for local news, information, and entertainment they cannot find elsewhere. Add what has been called the halo effect of public radio, and listeners find business messages more credible and trustworthy than other forms of advertising. For a no-obligation assessment about how WHAV can help your business reach more people than all other local media combined, call 978-374-1900 or visit whav.net.
Wave weather.
Here's the wave weather forecast for Haverhill and the Merrimack Valley. For tonight, clear skies, low 17, light northwest winds. On Tuesday, sunny, high 41, low 21. And the outlook for Wednesday, cloudy skies with snow showers, high 36, low 29. I'm WHAV meteorologist Jim Vaughn. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
And we're back on the new Open Mic.
You know, the other thing we got to talk about is birthdays. And do you realize this station celebrated its 71st birthday on the 16th of March?
Really? Tim Coco would know that.
Tim knew that.
Of course.
Yeah, 71 years young.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Well, happy birthday
Yes.
to WHAV. Now,
And-
we also have to say, you're right, before we get back to Phil, we have to say that call in your birthday in April or your anniversary in April to get your name in the hat for the free cake giveaway at the end of the month of March.
And that will be next
That's
week's show.
Next week's show. So get your April information in to our producer, Chris, and be drawing a name out of that hat next week.
Will it be gluten-free?
It's free.
Gluten-free?
Gluten-free?
Oh, gluten-free.
we can make sure it's gluten-free.
We could probably make that
extra
request
incentive.
because it comes from the bakery in Bradford Square. Why am I blanking on it?
Is it BDL or
LBD?
LBDs? Yeah,
Great
LBDs.
place.
Yeah, LBDs.
I'm dyslexic, I guess.
Yeah.
I said BDL.
Yeah.
You know what I want to add? Well, first of all, give the number, Will, because he's going to take some phone calls, and I want to talk to you about monuments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good. All right. Well, the number to call is 978-374-1900. And if you have a question, a comment, if you'd like to talk to Phil about getting involved with a sponsorship, if you're a business, or a tribute, if you're a family member, you can do all that by making
And
a call right now.
we should ask Tim also if he would put something on the website.
Well, I think I think that's a good idea, and I think that Tim will gladly do that. So I think Tim left. Remember, he came in during the break and said, "I
Right.
got to go," but hopefully he's still listening if he's driving, or unless he's involved with a meeting or something. But let's any calls that come in, our producer will let us know. The phone lines are open at 978-374-1900.
Quick question. Every town seems to have the same monument for their Civil War soldiers.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It is. And
That's
I
not
guess,
uncommon. I read a book about that.
but actually, there was a company that did it, and it was so they could keep costs down.
Yeah. Matter of fact, now I heard that the face of the guy was made after an Irish guy. And Pat Traynor put that in her book. I swear, we have documentation. She's very reputable. I trust her. So the statue looks the same everywhere you go.
Yeah.
'Cause it is.
I think they used a local person for the face. So that's what she says. Now the hiker
it's the
statue,
same-
the
it's the
Spanish
same
American
face.
War, is also the same everywhere you go. The hiker statues, there are those all over the country too. Same exact one.
Actually, the soldier that's on the Civil War, he looks like John Wilkes Booth. Take a close look.
Okay,
I'm usually driving by and I don't look close, but it's
Now-
the Monument Square statue.
Yeah.
right?
Now here's a
Yeah.
funny story. There was a little pamphlet made by a volunteer or an intern at Buttonwoods Museum. Did a little thing on the monuments of Haverhill that I'm going to incorporate into the book. And the city had created the statue. They're having a ceremony, to show it off and everything. And all these people are gathered around, and all the names of the people who died are around it, and they're reading off the names. Sure enough, there's a guy in the audience whose name is on the thing, and he's like, wait a second, I'm not dead, I'm right here. I wonder if they took his name off. I don't know, but he found that story.
Isn't that something?
So reincarnation. We'll talk about dead. I used to work with a fellow years ago, was in Vietnam. They thought he died. They actually had a funeral service for him in Mount Kisco, New York, but he was prisoner. And then when they got him out, which was only about a month or so, he was in prisoner camp. They realized he was alive. I mean, just think of the impact for the family to realize.
Right. Yeah.
But he said there was a service in Mount Kisco, New York, in his name.
I'll tell you, all the wars you read through, though, I'm going, wow, why do we have to fight so much?
Yeah, well, it's less and less. You know, I read a statistic that the amount of people died in war, from war, whatever, is like at a historical all-time low.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
true.
a good thing. Which is, I think people are catching on that a lot of these wars are bogus. Vietnam was.
Well, we're fighting differently. We're not fighting.
It's
boots on
big
the ground.
stakes right now. So and there's really nothing to be gained by going to war with your customers. We're in a global trade.
Right.
But you know what?
Why would I want to do that?
Exactly. That's the thing. I mean, do you think the Soviet Union, or I may date myself,
Russia?
The Russians would want to annihilate this country? No, because half of the food they get is from here.
Yeah.
Same thing as China. Although I know they're spending money like they're going to war, and I think it could have a lot to do with what's going on in the Pacific right now. But if they get rid of us, who's going to buy their merchandise?
Russia. I mean, China's history is bad. Okay, they've had a lot of problems, but Russia's probably the most dysfunctional country. They have suffered so much. They got beat up in so many wars. So many millions of people died, even in wars they won. You understand their mentality, why they became communist, and they were like the slaves until the 1860s. They had slave system serfs and everything who were eventually freed, but not really free. They became sharecroppers. They had they couldn't leave the land until they paid off the landlords and all. So it was a very miserable country to live in. Death was just so commonplace and misery that you have to kind of read back. And Stalin, really didn't, when he took over all the surrounding countries, it wasn't so much that, he was looking to make communism all over the world. He just wanted to protect Russia from being invaded again by Germany and surrounding. It was a buffer zone,
right,
more than he was looking to expand communism everywhere.
And they don't have the economy either. The economy right now.
No, their economy is about the size of Italy.
California.
Yeah, it's small.
Right.
Very small.
And it's crony capitals. It's a lot of
although
oligarchs.
Putin, 73% of the vote. He's elected for his fourth time.
Yeah.
So he's the FDR of Russia.
Do you think the Russians interfered with the Russian election?
I don't know. You think they could have?
No, killing all the opponents, the opposing parties, everything.
I read how they did it. Come on down and vote. You get a free shot of vodka. They were lined up.
Yeah.
But I've heard people who know a little about Russia, and they say the people don't mind. They like strong leaders. They don't mind that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I find it hard to believe.
Well,
but
Putin,
there are a lot of opposition there.
6 more years of Putin, I guess, minimum. Yeah.
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 God.
I know.
But anyway.
God bless them.
So anyway, 978-374-1900 is the number to call if you would like to call in for any reason. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation from Phil Brown. Boosters Zone is the way to contact you, right?
Boosterzone at gmail.com. Yeah.
At gmail.com. Or, and you have a website, which is boosterszone.com.
Yeah, there's also a contact field there that you can send information.
Great.
Any Haverhill boys at Gettysburg?
I'm sure there were. One thing I want to mention is Hilldale Cemetery has what's called Soldiers Hill. There's about 300 plus soldiers buried there.
Right.
For 300 or 400, and there's a big monument. I think the guy's last name was George. Killed at Antietam. It's a big one of those big pillar. What do you call them? Obelisks or whatever. And family members. He was killed at Antietam. So there are other things. That's also I'm going to have a list and photos of little memorials at cemeteries. Because some of them have the truncheons. The cannon, the artillery cannon, and various things. One thing I want to get into once the snow's gone is Dennis Ford. I've been reading his story. Pat Trainer, O'Malley did she found his letters home. So he was an Irish guy, had a wife and kids in the acre. He went to war. He was injured. He was captured. Was released, exchanged. Came back to Haverhill, re-enlisted, was captured.
Yeah.
He just kept going back.
He kept getting captured?
He must have really hated being home because he was discharged. I mean, he could have just stayed home and worked in a shoe factory or like every other Irish guy in the acre, and he kept going back. So I went to find his grave.
Talk about the Civil War. Back then, you could pay not to go to war.
$300, yes.
Right.
If you could pay.
Did you know that, Billy?
No, I didn't know
300 balloons,
No. No.
Yeah, that was, and that a lot of people weren't happy with that.
I can understand because basically wealthy would be able to buy themselves out of the service.
Right.
Now, another thing, too, is at the start of the Civil War, New York City was not in favor of going to war.
No.
And they were thinking about seceding themselves because there was a lot of business that they did with the South.
Well, we shouldn't criticize them. You're familiar with the Haverhill petition? That's a whole other talk show. But Haverhill, there was a group in Haverhill that wanted to secede from the Union. And we could do this another time. That John Quincy presented that petition to Congress while there was a gag rule in slavery. He was censored. People came to his defense. Not only did they lifted the gag rule, which all of a sudden starts debate in Congress again, which eventually leads to the Civil War. So there's some historians that have that petition as being one of the catalysts.
Started.
Now, where was that church? At least this group of people.
The church in Haverhill?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it was a Universalist church.
No.
No, that was a guess.
I think it was a Baptist or something. It wasn't. I know it wasn't Universal. You would think that though, but
Rock's Village.
No. It was the Winter Street Church, which used to be Joseph's Bakery. It's now vacant. It's across from the Greek church.
It's for sale.
Yeah. So I hope that is never torn down because that is such a historic place. At least there's got to be a plaque there. Because people aren't aware of that. I wasn't aware of it until I started teaching history at Haverhill, all this stuff. And I just think that's a fascinating
Well, I remember the
story.
old City Hall. I swear it had a George Washington slept here.
That's yes, and it's on that plaque is on the PMA now. That's where the not the Eagle House. What the heck? There was an inn. Now I can't think of it. That was torn down. I think City Hall was there, but then that was torn down.
Yeah.
And now in that location. On PMA, you'll see the plaque
Is
as you
it on
go
PMA?
into.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So
that's good.
George slept everywhere.
Yeah, he got around.
Yeah.
You know, he was the father of our country, but yet he never had any children.
Well, he was like, he saw, there's the
stepchildren.
There was the river.
Stepchildren.
There was the Merrimack River was right at the foot of where this we're talking about, and there probably the bridge wasn't there, so he probably said, I got to sleep someplace tonight.
He was sleeping all over the place. He was the precursor to Bill Clinton, but in a different manner.
That's not a lie.
But you know the thing is though, like he had stepchildren, but he never had children of his own. And Martha Custis was related to a very famous general, Robert E. Lee.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And on
the
that
Virginia.
note,
That's where the
we're
Virginia
gonna let
connection.
Phil wrap this up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're going to have to bring it to a close and have another commercial break.
If people can fill in any of the blanks that I mentioned of these wars, please call, email me, call WHAV or email WHAV, and let me know, especially discounts for soldiers. Like, why isn't there a central list somewhere? Why do people keep track? Even the chamber didn't know. They sent out something on Facebook.
Right.
They should know. I mean, I would. That's a great thing. So hopefully, if we get nothing else,
You're doing a great thing for Haverhill.
Thank you.
And you know what?
And all the veterans and
Please
and the
come back in a
families.
few months and let us know how things are going.
when you get the book, pretty much done, or if you need any more, promotion, let us know.
Yeah, and I was listening to you guys before I came in. The rock and roll stuff. I mean, that's right up my alley.
My sweet Lord, you were right. My sweet Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so we're going to just mention on here that the song you said
was incorrect. It wasn't
incorrect.
Crackerbox Palace. It was
Right.
My Sweet Lord.
My Sweet Lord.
And
Phil
it's-
knew that.
And I feel fine or whatever. Not that I feel fine. She's so fine.
Yeah.
I don't see the similarity between the two
No.
songs.
Oh, you
but
can't.
a little bit.
Yeah,
but-
I know what they're.
Yeah, but anyway, with that, thank you very much for coming
Thank
in,
you.
Phil.
Good seeing you
Thank
guys.
you, sir.
I'm going to start listening to the show more. This is you guys
Yeah,
are good. I'm very
spread the
impressed.
word. This is
Yeah.
a good show. It's
Well,
fun.
Haverhill has a lot of great stuff. and
That's
I say
right.
that.
We have
I
fun
discover
and
new
we
stuff
have
every day.
information and
This station is wonderful.
Monday nights.
Always has been.
Monday nights 6 to 8.
All
right
right.
here.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
called the new open mic. I'm Bill
right.
Macek.
And Haverhill is going to be renamed
Bill
after
Ellis.
you. It's going to be Haver Bill. Instead of the hill, it's going to be
Enough
Bill.
of that. And we'll be right back right here at the new open mic on WHAV 97.9 FM.
Open mic.
Bill Macek and the new open mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900. If you're enjoying this program, consider becoming a WHAV member right now. Just click on the membership tab at WHAV.net.
97.9 FM, WHAV.
Open mic.
Hi, it's Bill Macek from the new open mic show, reminding you to join me every Monday night from 6 to 8 with special guests, the top stories, sports, entertainment, and open lines for you to call in to. The new open mic on 97.9 WHAV FM.
Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom, 97.9 WHAV FM presents the new Open Mic Show with Bill Macek. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900.
Billy, that was a
All
great
right.
guest.
We are back, and that was really interesting, wasn't it?
Well, I love history to begin with.
Yeah.
And
You don't
they-
always
you
get
know-
it right, but you love it.
I know, but
I'm going to
that's-
keep
that's-
reminding people, at least tonight, that you
I
said
messed
a
up on that
was
song. I knew it was a
challenged
George
for-
Harrison
for
song, and I got it wrong.
copyright, but you had George Harrison right, so I guess we'll give you that one. All right.
So, anyways,
all right, we're going to move on.
You know, that's a great book, though, and they should teach more history in school. You know, because there are a lot of people that laid down their lives in order to get to where we are today.
And local history.
Exactly.
Local, you know, talking, and that's what Phil's book is mainly going to be about, is all the people that served our country and resided in Haverhill.
Right there.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. All right. We did give away tickets to the Lynn Auditorium show with Peter Cetera.
With the trivia question,
With
of
the
which you knew
trivia
the answer, I
question.
congratulate
Yeah.
you on that.
And I just want to remind people that they should go to lynnauditorium.com to see all of the great shows on his way out. Phil mentioned that he's been to the Lynn Auditorium many times and many good shows there. So check out the list of guests. They have people like the Happy Together Tour with Flo and Eddie. They have the Turtles. They have the Animals. They have the Yardbirds. They have Chicago and Peter Cetera, who was the lead singer from Chicago. So, you know, just it goes on and on. The Steve Miller Band, Foreigner, many, many more acts.
What was the first record, 45, that you ever bought?
The first 45 that I ever bought was, I don't know. It was in the era of probably Chubby Checker. And it might have been Let's Twist.
You know, the Twist actually was number one on two different occasions.
Yes.
It's the only song that's ever had that
Came
distinction.
back. Yeah. Yeah.
My song was Barefoot in Baltimore. Now, I'll give you a nickel if you can tell me which group.
I'm going to guess the Village People.
The Strawberry Alarm Clock.
Incense and Peppermint.
That was another song they had,
That
but
was
the
their
first song
big
I
hit.
bought was Barefoot in Baltimore.
Barefoot.
And,
Can you
know,
sing a little of it?
Barefoot in Baltimore.
Why did I ask?
And I could make it modern. Bring a rifle when you go.
Really? Was it a hit?
It was a huge hit.
It was a hit, huh?
It was 76 cents, I believe it was. And I grew up in the Dorchester section of Boston.
Yeah.
And it was Piotti's Record Store in Uplands Corner.
Yeah. Well, in Haverhill, we used to have Abendanza's records. He had a little shop downstairs in Mitchell's department store. People would, in this department store, even back then, people would like get a slice of square footage, and they owned that for whatever wares they wanted to sell. And Paul Abendanza had the records downstairs. It was in a little back corner. He did real well, though. And at the day when you buying 45s, I remember as a kid going in there, and you could actually kind of thumb through the the different records, alphabetized, whichever ones you might be looking for.
Now, 45 denotes what? What is
the speed? 45 RPM,
which stands for
revolutions per minute.
And name me two other size records.
33 and a third, and 78s.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, had the old 78s, and those were very, very brittle.
Those went real fast.
Oh yeah. And it was a lot of fun though. It was a lot of stuff.
Those were the days. Yeah.
Amos and Andy, and way back when.
I really believe that we lived through what I call the revolution, the Renaissance roll, kind of from the British invasion forward. But music wasn't fragmented. I call it fragmented today. There are so many variations and styles and just so many different things going on that back then you had pretty much everybody listening to pop.
What station did you listen to as a kid?
Well, 68 WRKO, which was the rock station. And then,
I used to
of course,
listen to WMX.
WMEX, too.
Right,
And the other
1600.
one was WBZ that had some very famous radio music jocks like Dave Maynard. And, Dave used to do the Canopy Lake concert on, I think it was Friday nights. When I was a kid, I used to have to get a ride up there. I wasn't even 16. And I saw some of the best talent, Sonny and Cher. I saw the original Yardbirds. I saw so many fantastic recording acts that came over. Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs did what song, remember?
Which song do you want? You want Little Red Riding Hood or 96 Tears?
Or no, not 96 Tears. That was another group.
Who sang 96
Woolly,
Tears?
Woolly Bully was his other song.
Woolly Bully. Then
Woolly
they did
96
Little
Tears
Red Riding
was
Hood.
Question Mark and Mysterians.
Oh, that's right,
And
too.
I saw
Yes,
them there
yeah.
too. Yeah, I mean all the top acts would tour through Canopy Lake, their ballroom, which was right on the lake. It was just a cool era to
Who's
live
the biggest rock and roll name that ever came out of this era? Would it be Aerosmith, you
actually,
think? Or?
Well, Aerosmith probably, but the band Boston. Actually, in the second band I managed Franny Sheehan, who was the bass player for Boston. And not while he was in Boston, but in another local group. Second band I ever managed, he was the bass player. And he left and he said he was going to start his own band. He was he's still from Swampscott. He still has a house in Swampscott. And Fran said he was going to start his own little band, a little power trio, Fran playing bass and another guy playing drums and guitar. And in all honesty, they weren't very good. But Fran and I always got along great. I always had a lot of respect for his talent. And I said, well, and I booked places and they didn't want return engagements, so we knew we were done. They should have been able to, be liked enough to get return engagements. So I said, well, Fran, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do next? And he says to me, I think I'm going to get involved with this Cellar group. I think they're going to get a record deal. And he told me about this project that was going to be called Boston. And it was like a couple of months later that he came up to my house and he said, here, I want you to listen to this. And I still, I'm sure, have it someplace. It's a white cassette, it was the first Boston album before it was even released.
The Cars?
So he got in right at the tail end of Boston and, rode it all the way. Fantastic bass player, Fran Sheehan.
Well, that's good.
So
the singer
Cars,
in Boston,
the Cars, sure. Yeah.
Singer in Boston, he had a set
from the Cars.
No, from Boston.
Oh, the singer from Boston.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
Brad Delp.
Yeah.
But the one of the guys in the Cars, Ben Orr, also died at a young age. He was the bass player. He had one hit song, I think. And but anyway, it was a great time. We should talk music more often. Phil seemed to like it when he was driving in, and he. So
Yeah.
we should
Well,
have a little.
music is
We
great.
should have a music segment
That
for
would be
people
nice.
to call in, and but our show is just about over right now. We got less than a minute here, Bill. Time flies, right?
It's fun.
I want to remind everybody that we are here with the new open mic, doing our thing with different guests and different information type guests, such as Phil Brown, who was in. But we were always doing something of interest. So make sure we make this appointment radio. That's what it's called in the industry, when people make an appointment almost to be on Monday night near their radio or their Facebook page or whatever on WHAV. Because we have it happening right here. So
Well, you have a chance to win stuff too.
Yep, that's right. We give away stuff and lots of good things going on. So we want to thank everybody for listening tonight on the new open mic.
Keep smiling.
Bill Ellis and Bill Macek on the new open mic on WHAV 97.9 FM. Good night.
Open mic.
Join Bill Macek live on the new open mic again next Monday night at 6. The opinions expressed on the open mic are not necessarily those of 97.9 WHAV FM, its underwriters, or affiliated stations. The open mic show came to you from the Edwin V. Johnson Newsroom.